What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How are you all tonight? I hope that you guys are good. I hope you guys are at your computers. I hope that you guys are ready for some entertainment, because I am here to talk about a movie that is by Walt Disney Pictures that I strongly suggest you watch. This is my favorite animated film of the year. Last year it was The Croods, and now this year it is Big Hero 6. Yeah, and I know you guys are probably going to like, well, Nick, why are you so late on Big Hero 6? Well, number one, as I have said, I'm usually low on cash when I'm in Elizabeth City, and that costs money. But, I've always been wanting to go watch Big Hero 6, seeing the commercials for it, hearing people talk about how it's good, and, you know, also seeing reviews of the action figures and stuff like that. So I've been really wanting to see this movie. And so today, my mom and dad and I, we went and watched Big Hero 6, and oh my gosh, I had a blast. This movie is a fun family film, it is a fun action film, it is a fun hero film, it is just a fun film all around. The movie is about this guy, the movie is about this 13-year-old kid named Hiro Hamada, who lives in a town called San Francisco, which I'm guessing is not a real Japanese town. And he competes in bot wrestling, and it kind of made me think of big battle bots that or something like that. It was like a long time ago. You constructed them, and there wasn't any controls, which I don't see how you made these things work. But yeah, he competes in those things, and so he makes this one little robot out of all these little tiny things, and he graduated at high school at age 13. And you're enthused into this character, because at first he seems like he's just starting, and he's gonna get his butt kicked. But then he has more money, and so he gets himself another match, and then his robot, like, he just gets all serious, like it's going like, I'll fight. Instead of from that, it's like, destroy. And he freaking, what's the word, he hustles this guy who is freaking pretty much undefeated, and he hustles him and he beats him, and then him and his brother, Tadashi Hamada, who is also a very smart guy who is in college, he keeps telling about how his brother Hiro needs to go to this school. He needs to go to college, graduating at 13, and they tell us and they show us how smart Hiro is. And when we go to his lab, when we go to his brother's lab, we meet the following characters. We meet Honey Lemon, who her kind of inventions are like these little bubble things that can make not bombs, but like smoke screens and stuff like that. Then we meet Go-Go Tomogo, which, she's like the tough chick of the group. And then we're introduced to Fred, who is a big nerd, who's a big comic book nerd, a big hero nerd. But he's kind of like a surfer dude too. He's like one of those laid back comic book nerds. And then we have Wasabi, which they do make a joke about that in the movie. He has every single one of these characters has their own gimmick, kind of like invention thing. Like Wasabi has this laser gimmick thing, or this laser technology. Go-Go has this bike technology, but like with these kind of discs. Like, they're not really wheels, they're discs. Like they're these fast spinning discs. And then we actually, that's it. Like, we meet this whole crew, and then, like, after that, like, we see, like, what his brother has built, and this is where we are introduced to Baymax. Baymax is a lovable character. I did not stop laughing when I seen Baymax. My mom laughed her head off in this movie because she thought Baymax was so good. Baymax is an awesome character in this movie, even though he is one of the big heroes in this movie, and that's one of the things. From the poster, and when it says Big Hero 6, all they show you is Baymax and maybe Hiro Hamada. Like, that's all they show. And I was like, okay, so it's this big, fluffy, goofy robot. But no, it's a whole team. It's Hiro, Baymax, Wasabi, Honey Lemon, Fred, and Go-Go. And at first, the reason how Baymax, by the way, this is going to contain spoilers, or I might not even go into spoilers, but with this, we have a good villain. This has a good twist in the movie. This movie is filled with a lot of good things. It's filled with death. It's filled with revenge. It's filled with a lot of good stuff that makes such a good movie. It's filled with comedy. It's just filled with everything that a movie like this needed. For the funniest scene in this whole movie is, okay, the thing with Baymax is he is a medical robot. That's the thing. He is a medical robot, and he will not deactivate until you say, I am satisfied with my care. When you say that, he deflates. And so the funniest scene in this movie is when Baymax scares Hero, and he's like, you gave me a heart attack. My hands are fibrillators. My mom and I died laughing. We could not stop laughing. I have never seen my mom laugh so hard in a movie ever, and it was just great. Gosh, this movie is such a wonderful experience. But Hero's brother is basically like, okay, here's what you need to do. When Hero and his brother are leaving, he's like, Hero says to his brother, I have to go to the school. What do I do to get in? And his brother's like, there's a presentation thing every couple months or something, or every year. You make something to impress the professor, which the professor in this movie is, I do not remember his first name, but his last name is Callahan. Professor Callahan. And he's basically like their father, their friend. He's their mentor, and he's the reason why they are the people that they are today. So he's like, okay, I have to impress this guy. And we actually get a montage of Hero, like, they do the Eye of the Tiger thing, like he's getting ready to like start drawing, and then like the montage ends because he can't think of anything. It's getting all set up, like he's sharpening his pencil. It's like duh, 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 stupid brain, and then his brother comes in, and he's like, what's the matter? I cannot think of an idea. My brain is blocked. And his brother comes up with a really good point in this movie, and he says he's trying to get his brother to try to think of something, and he's like, what are you doing? I'm trying to get you to understand, to look at things at a different angle. And that is one of the main things in this movie that helps you solve your problems. That helps you solve their problems in this movie. When they're in distress, they're like, look at it from another angle, and you can figure it out, and they do. And it is just a great thing to have in this movie. So he comes up with these things called microbots. And they're basically these little tiny, if you guys have seen the movie, Hero's little robot, it's like these building things, but like they're large. Like they're maybe like one normal one is about like this size. But when he makes the microbots, they're this size. And he makes this thing where he controls them with their minds, and he's like, you think it, they do it. You want it to be a transportation device for you, it can make a transportation device for you. And they fulfill this in this movie, because after this, Professor Callahan gives Hero his application. He's like, I expect to see you in class. And then all of a sudden, there's this humongous fire. And so Hero's brother runs in to save his professor, but the building explodes. And when I was sitting there, I was like, okay, his brother's gonna die, and they're gonna say 1 year later. No, I was wrong. They don't do that. What they do is they take it right after it happens. And we see Hero deal with the loss of his brother. Of course, he's got Baymax, but Baymax even though Baymax is an inanimate object, he becomes a character, and you love and adore Baymax, because I want to keep saying Max, I don't know why. He hits his toe, Hero hits his toe, and he says ow, and that is how Baymax is activated. You say ow, and he gets up, and he's like, how can I assist you, or something like that. And so with this is where we get the drive from Hero to build the armor for Baymax and to change Baymax to what he is. Because of the loss of his brother, Hero is filled with guilt, he's filled with anger, he wants his brother back. And even though his new friends are worried about him, they're like, we hope that you come to class soon. You know, we hope that you're getting better. Please just contact us and we'll talk to you. And so Hero starts making all these designs for Baymax, giving him kung fu moves and stuff like that, because one of the microbots are still moving, and it kind of becomes a compass. And this is one of the best parts of the movie. Baymax actually takes it and follows it, and my mom and I'm wondering, how can he be so big but move so fast? And you just get a laugh out of this movie. I get such a joy out of this. I got such a kick out of Baymax and his cuteness, and that's the thing that they play off with Baymax, is he, even though he's like this big robot with armor, he's adorable. He is just lovable and adorable. Like, as soon as you see him, you can't help but love him. And so when he starts doing this, they find out that there's this guy wearing this mask who is using the microbots to you know, basically, you know, be evil, ha ha ha, you know, take over the world. But one thing, there is this other character in the movie. His name is Alistair Creel, or Cree, and Heroes offer two options. One, don't sell it and go to class, like go to the college, or two, take the money and become rich. And he denies it, and he's like, they basically play him off like, oh, he's obviously going to become the villain. He's totally going to become the villain. And that's what my mindset was. Because I was saying in this film, sitting there, I was like, oh, he's definitely the villain. I can see it now. And even when the fire goes off, I was like, it was him. He's the villain. He's got that mask. He took what he wanted, and now he's using it. But, the very first time Baymax is in his armor, the friends, because Baymax called them, because one other thing with Baymax, he can scan anything, like a transformer. But he doesn't transform, he gets all this information, and he actually calls up Hero's friends to come and talk to him, and when he has Baymax suited up in the armor, they come there, and then they go to Fred's house, which Fred lives in this freaking awesome mansion, and it's here where Hero gets the idea to make them all heroes. Honey Lemon, her superpower, or she doesn't really have a power, she makes those bubble things. She makes this purse where it dispatches different kinds of these little balls that are different colors that can do many other things. One can make ice, one can make a shield, one can do many other things. Go-Go, her bike wheels, actually, she attaches them to her feet, and she learns to run, or she can use them as throwing discs. Fred is basically a small Japanese monster. You know, he has a fire-breathing mouth on him, and that was pretty cool. But Wasabi has these laser swords on his hands, and he's got it's like the type 1, or it's either the type or type 1 energy sword from Halo 2, and he has two of them, and they can cut through anything. So, and then this is where they get the new thing for Baymax. Now, another thing with Baymax is he has this green chip that basically gives him his love and care. However, Hero makes one that is for combat and destruction only, because how he is just filled with so much hate for his brother's killer that he pretty much wants him dead. And when Big Hero 6 for the very first time takes him down, he takes the green chip out of Baymax, and Baymax just starts going hard. Baymax is not controlled. Baymax is not who he is. Baymax is trying to kill the guy. And so when they change Baymax, they look at Hero and they're like, we did not sign up for this. We did not sign for it. And Hero goes cold. And he's like, Baymax, kill him, kill him, kill the villain. I want you to kill him. And they're like, we did not sign up for this, Hero. We agreed we would take him down, and that's what we're going to do, but we did not sign up for murder. And that's the thing, when he gets away, his scanner gets messed up, and he takes Baymax back to the garage, and Baymax keeps asking the question, would you like me to murder the person? Would you like me to murder the villain? Will murdering the villain take away your pain? And he's like, yes, I don't know, I don't know. And Baymax keeps saying to Hero that Tashati is here. And he's like, no, Baymax, he's dead, he is gone. And it's when they're having this moment between Baymax and Hero that he finally breaks down and he realizes, because Baymax says something very important, is this what your brother would want? And it's when Baymax says that he realizes that what he did wrong, but it's then also when he shows videos of his brother that he realizes, okay, I messed up. And the other team comes and they all work back together and they're like, we're going to take him down. And Hero says, but we're going to do it the right way. I'm sorry for what I did. So, and now it is time for the villain. The villain was not who I thought it was. Turns out, and for a minute there, I even thought it was Hero's brother, but that wouldn't make sense. So now, turns out that the villain is not Alistair Kree. It is Professor Callahan. And I was like, what? Oh, I did not see that coming at all, because in the movie, they build up that these two have a rivalry. That Callahan and Kree have a rivalry, but they make it to where Kree is the douche. Like, they make it to where he is the one who he's obviously going to be the villain. He's already being a douche, you know. All he cares about is money. And they do build up to why he is doing this, because they decided to make teleportation in this like this portal thing, but they sent Calloway's daughter into it to test it out, and it failed. And so the microbots saved him because he grabbed the device and he put it on his head and he shielded it. So now he's using it to get revenge on Callahan. Callahan built this building and he brings the teleporter back and he destroys the building. He's like, you took my daughter away from me. I'm going to take everything from you. So now Big Hero 6 arrives and they try fighting him, but they all get their butts kicked. And when they're getting ready to almost basically die, that is when Hero says, guys, look at it from another angle and you can beat it. And they do. They all look at it from another angle and they are able to accomplish it. And then they beat Calloway, because they decide a way to beat him is by having the nanobots the microbots get sucked up into the portal. Well, when this is happening, the portal is still going. It's still going. And it made me think of back in the old Spider-Man cartoon when they had that vortex thing with Green Goblin and how Norman Osborn basically died in that series. Like with the portal thing. So Big Hero, Baymax, and Hero go into the portal and they find that Calloway's daughter is still alive. But unfortunately, they get hit by this debris, and the only thing that can happen is Baymax has to sacrifice himself. And this is a real heart-tender moment. And, of course they make it. Okay, they're all right. The daughter's still alive. The bad guy goes to jail. And then we find out that Baymax left his green chip in Hero's hand, so he could build a new Baymax, and he does. And the movie ends with them talking about how they didn't plan on becoming heroes, but, we're heroes now. We're the Big Hero 6. And after the movie, I'm honestly going to give this movie a B+. I am giving this movie a B+. Now, I'm sure you guys are wondering, well, why do you only give it a B+? Why not an A or an A+? There was only 2 things in this movie that I did not really care for, that I really wish that they had explained. One, in one part of the scenes, Baymax is like a cell phone, pretty much. And he runs on battery power. There's one scene in the movie where Hero puts him back in his box to charge him. And they never bring this scene up again. And when I was talking to my mom about it, my mom's like, well, maybe when he upgraded him, because he upgrades everybody, maybe he fixed something to where he didn't have to charge him. And I just wish that they had shown that he was dying on power, or explained a fixed so you never had to be charged again. And another thing I didn't really care for is they killed the brother off too soon. Maybe if they had given us another hour with the brother, maybe it would have meant more meaning when he died. I mean, it's a sad thing, but I think they just killed the brother off too early. But other than that, this was a great film. I was going to go back and watch it tonight, but I decided not to. I will watch it many more times. I will go and buy it on DVD. It's a really good movie, guys. Put in the comments below, what did you think about Big Hero 6? Did you think it's good? Did you think it's not good? I really want to know. Guys, Big Hero 6 I thought was a good idea. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good night.